Star Trek: The Motion Picture is a science fiction masterpiece.
Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
I remember watching this movie with my dad when I was about 10 years old, and thought it was extremely boring. I didn't understand what was going on, and I was wondering why it was taking so long for anything to happen. I just wasn't used to this kind of movie. For whatever reason, I recently felt the urge to go through all of the original Star Trek movies, most of which I've never seen before. Recalling my previous experience, I was actually kind of dreading sitting through a 2-hour and a 20-minute slog. Only this time, I came equipped with something that I didn't even know that I needed. A functioning brain! I was blown away by the passion and care the filmmakers had for this story. There's something so hypnotic about the effects and visuals of the world, with Jerry Goldsmith's iconic update of the series' soundtrack and the film's genuine and honest attempt at posing compelling questions about humanity and the universe we live in, something that Star Trek has always been known for.
So I've requested to have you transferred.
Captain, but...
This conversation's over. You're dismissed.
Right, but...
This is the end of the conversation.
Captain, if I could...
You can't.
Right, but I had this as
The conversation's over.
Until recently.
That's the end.
Well, technically, the conversation is not over because I could keep talking, and then the conversation is
I don't know how you made it this far in your career behaving like this. This is why I ended the conversation. I'm having you transferred. End of conversation.
It would be rude and irresponsible to end a conversation.
The conversation's over.
But...
Edward.
Remember earlier I said...
Larkin.
Yep.
I've never felt like a she or a her. I would prefer they or them.
What on earth are you on about?
Sorry about that. I got a little distracted. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, good Star Trek. Something I did notice while watching this is just how slow and deliberate the story plays out. This movie is the antithesis of modern media. It is the proof that we have been dispossessed of the ability to direct our attention spans for any longer than absolutely necessary. And sometimes, not even that long. In a time when movies are more obsessed with forced humor interjected into every emotional beat, and rushed plots designed to get you to the end so you can come back for the next movie, this movie slows things down. It invites you into its world and then asks you to stay for a while. There's 2 scenes in particular that I'd like to talk about that really underscore this idea. Did I mention the score was iconic? Well, that's because of this scene. Kirk is returning to the Enterprise after a short retirement, so Scotty gives him a flyby tour of the ship. This makes sense in universe, as the captain would probably want to check over his ship for hull defects or take note of modifications made in his absence. But that's not why the scene works. Let's take a closer look at what's really going on here. We start out far off as Kirk looks out at a distance in bewilderment at the scope of the repair bay. Moving in closer, we cut back for Scotty's reaction. With nothing but glances and smirks, we can feel the history of friendship that these two have. Kirk brushes it off, reverting to his stoic captain demeanor. Now he begins taking closer note of his ship, checking its state and mentally preparing himself for this new adventure. The name of the ship, his ship, is revealed, and he begins to let the memories come back. They rotate around to forward facing as Kirk loses himself in such a profound moment of reverence for the beauty and wonder that mankind is capable of, manifested in the Enterprise. Every cut back tells us something new about their characters. Bewilderment, friendship, stoicism, remembrance, crescendoing into sheer awe. With every cut, a new emotion. William Shatner and James Doohan are brilliant here. This scene lasts for nearly 5 minutes and not a single word is spoken, yet so much is communicated between them. There's no major action or quick editing, just characters and subtlety. We understand that Kirk has been away from the Enterprise for many years, only now returning to greet his ship like an old friend. It also works to welcome back fans of the original series. We are meant to see the Enterprise as Kirk sees her. The deliberately timed length of each shot is meant to put us in his head, to feel every moment of awe-inspiring scale. All these elements are utilized in such a way that they build on each other to create something wonderful. Something you would be hard-pressed to find in today's media. Something that can stand out as truly iconic. Docking their shuttle aboard the Enterprise, the scene comes to an end with the only line of dialogue that need be spoken.
Thank you, Mr. Scott.
Aye, sir.
Navigator, maintain course. Helmsman, steady as she goes.
The second scene I want to look at is the whole reason I wanted to make this video. The Enterprise is entering into a mysterious cloud to make contact with whatever's inside. As they traverse through, we are treated to a kaleidoscopic display of lights and patterns of color, giving off vibes of something more than just otherworldly, but of something that transcends worlds. The scope of power here is supernatural. The score reflects this with its sound design that sets an atmosphere of reverb, like a cathedral, a place of veneration and worship. After a time, they break through the cloud, and we get our first look at the vessel inside. Did I mention how incredible this score is? Gosh, so good. Making their way along the length of the vessel itself, we are provided time to comprehend the massive nature of the construct, with most shots lasting between 30 to 45 seconds. The parallel design of the construct again creates a kaleidoscope of hypnotic visuals designed to mesmerize and entrance us in the same way as the characters of the Enterprise. Taken in contrast with the first scene and Kirk's reflection of admiration and wonder at the Enterprise, we are left with questions of what else greater could there be. It creates a feeling of visual eternity, that this thing could be more than alien, that it could be God himself. The irony of building up this vessel of godlike proportions for it to just be man-made from the start adds a whole other dynamic to the mixture.
Voyager. Voyager.
If this device we created hundreds of years ago encountered another society that just casually equips it with the storage capacity for all data in the known universe, and now it wants to meet its creator, what it thinks is God, us, how do you think that would make us feel? And what does that say about our search for God? This may all sound dramatic, and it is, but what this movie reminded me of was the conscious effort of the artists to make you think. None of what I've said here is said in the movie. These were my thoughts while watching it. The movie never tells you what to think. Instead, it elicits ideas and emotions that make you think. It doesn't waste your time and degrade your intelligence with pointless dialogue. It lets the world speak for itself. That is what great science fiction can do.